And as Terry shows you the picture of his dimples. Terry, how much you weigh in that picture, man?
Yo, I was like 195 in this picture.
It looks like 160.
This is 2009 though, but pretty good looking now and then.
You look like a boy band member, man.
Yeah.
Swear to God.
You know, you should see the team picture from that. Look at Doggone Ball Club 2009. The other guys are so pale in that picture, man.
So you're talking about Richard Shatchi?
Me, Shefteshi, Mick Manasseh, Justin Manasseh, Darren Basmanjian, Mike Manoukian. Who else on that team that people will know? No, that's Marunian. Mike Marunian. It's a good team. Good team.
Speaking of good teams, let's dive into it. Opening drive here. Cougars claw their way like that, eh? Cougars claw their way over the 26-25. Armenio Adiluka, 4 TDs, 3 INTs. GF Marquis, 13 completions, 3 TDs, 1 INT. Yeah. Junior Spera.
Big body down the middle.
The big man himself, you know. The Craig Ironhead Hayward of FPF, 2 TDs. This is twice the Tomahawks have lost by a single point, the other being the Gators lost a few weeks ago. Is this a good or bad thing for their psyche?
Well, listen, I mean, anytime you can win a game pretty close, I think it helps your psyche. I think it helps your confidence. I think you kick it up by blowing teams out. Teams that blow other teams out every week. In the playoffs, they lose it because playoffs is very intense. You know, games are close. You're not used to that, right? You're breaking out of your comfort zone. The fact that Tomahawk Nightmare can win these 2 games by that 1 point helps them all go into the playoffs, and they're a very experienced team either way.
So what do you take from the Cougars moving forward? I mean, still undefeated. We talked.
Still undefeated.
Did I talk to you about that last week? No, you weren't here last week.
I wasn't here last week. I was at my sister's parent-teacher conference.
Oh, you? Oh, was there an assessment about you from your teacher about you?
No, it was my sister's parent-teacher conference.
Oh, okay.
What?
Why?
My dad doesn't speak French, and she goes to a French school.
Oh,
so I had to go in.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
What do we take from the Cougars moving forward?
Taking from the Cougars is that the experience that they have, Gino, Tony, Memes, these guys, they have the chance. The fact that they're still undefeated, right? They're still undefeated. They haven't lost the game. They have 2 ties.
Yeah, 2 ties.
They have 2 ties. They're still undefeated, and they're a team that can make a run in this league because of the experience they have. I mean, I like them going forward, especially with those big bodies down the middle. Junior Spera,
the white Craig Ironhead Hayward. Tomahawk, though, in terms of their, well, we got some guests here, Mike and Shaquille Finn.
We got Shaq from Division 4 Brotherhood.
Yeah, we'll put this over here.
Yeah, put that right there. And we got Mike, Uncle Mike.
But looking at Tomahawk even more, though, of course you made your point, but are they overrated though? Because their record now is what, 4-3, I believe.
4-3, yeah. 4-3 in a tough division.
But they got off to a flying start though, and now they've really stumbled of late. They've not been impressive in their games.
The only reason why they're overrated is because we overrated them at the beginning of the year. Well, anything I did. If anything, I did.
Or maybe the media writers said.
The media writers maybe overrated them at the beginning of the year. I mean, and rightly so. They are a very good team. I think that this division, especially their subdivision, is very competitive. Very, very, very competitive. Right. And I'm not surprised that they're 4-3. Sorry, I am surprised they're 4-3. I'm not surprised against the teams they lost to, though.
Gators being one of them, and Cougars being one of them. TDs and beer, Sticky Hands. Sticky Hands wins 26-25. François Etier with 4 TDs, 1 INT.
Frankie.
Your boy Brad Evans, 4
Brad
TDs.
Evans, my homeboy.
Goya and Nadeau combined for 4 TDs in the game. In your mind, was this an upset win by Sticky Hands?
I don't think it's an upset win. I think Frank Etier is one of the top quarterbacks in this division.
No, he's not.
I think he is.
How is he the top division quarterback?
No, he's not the top. I said he's a guy. He's one of the top quarterbacks in the division. He makes the right decisions. It doesn't look that way because of the amount of interceptions he's thrown. But regardless, I think that he is the reason why this team is still in the position that they are at 4-3. The fact that they can beat an experienced team like TDs and Beer. Brad Evans is not a guy to laugh at, even though he has no sleeves and he's got a beer belly of a body. Okay, I mean, he's still a really good receiver. He's a really good quarterback. I'm very impressed with this TDs and Beer team, and I'm more impressed that they were able to come out with the win.
How big of a blow was this loss for their playoff hopes for TDs and Beers?
Right now, I think they're playing Junkyard Dogs going forward, and Junkyard Dogs and Maximum Carnage, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, I think they can win those 2 games and make it into the playoffs. They're one of those bubble teams that we're going to be talking about later on.
Illuminati Old Guns. Illuminati crushed the Old Guns 31-12. I saw a bit of this game.
Yeah.
PZ Delarizzi, Paulo Della Rocca, 5 TDs, but an impressive 4 INTs.
Jesus, I don't know how they won. I don't know how you can win a game with 4 INTs. You know how you win a game by throwing 4 interceptions? You throw 5 touchdowns.
It's Tony Romo.
It's Tony Romo, actually, against the Bills a couple years ago.
The Romo.
Tony Romo, man.
Vince Pisano, 3 INTs. More surprised, PZ's stat line or that Pisano had 0 TDs?
I'm more surprised that that Vince Pisano had 0 TDs. I mean, with the weapons that he has, Alex Godet, even Rayhan Starwar, I don't know if he was playing that game.
No, he was not.
He wasn't playing. I mean, it's Kevin Gauthier came in for that game. I mean, it's pretty impressive that they were able to win. Even scored 2 touchdowns. They scored 2 pick sixes.
Yeah, that's right.
PZ was telling us there's a few overthrows that he threw. But just by looking at this Killuminati team, okay, with Mike Adana, Josh Levine, Minton Tat, there's no reason why you should lose these games in this division. Other than Pease being at quarterback.
Well, look at the roster, right? It's like a roster of 85 guys plus a practice roster.
That's a PZ Delarizzi roster right there. He'll sign anybody off any bench. He'll sign Uncle Mike. Uncle Mike hasn't played in like 19 years.
Since the original
Wolverines.
You want to play the 5? I played the 5.
We'll put this back over here.
Yeah, get this right there.
Right there, perfect.
I'm better looking than you, so you can put my picture up there.
Yeah.
It's a terrible picture of Jakub Telemak, though. Look at that.
Where?
Right there. Old picture.
Holy cow, man. Well, they didn't say anything about you guys. Yeah, there you go.
Nothing about brother.
Okay, anyway, back to the question du jour here, which was the PZ roster and the fact that they have 85 guys on the team.
85 guys, yeah.
But I think right now, when you look at this team, you made a point that they are better than what they've shown, which I will agree with you halfway.
They're still in the playoffs.
But I just think that there's just too inconsistent again. It goes back to being more consistent.
It's a lack of offense. Not a lack of offense, lack of scoring. You need to score 4 touchdowns in this league to win. You score 4 touchdowns, you'll win your game. Unless you're the Sea Assassins Division 4, where you'll score 6 and the other team will score 5 and you'll still win the game.
But are you surprised by this outcome? What I'm saying about the outcome, I'm not saying that because Killuminati won, but they won by the way they did, which was...
Their defense is good. Minton Tat is one of the better corners in the lower divisions.
He
From
is.
Div 3 to Div 6, Minton Tat is probably one of the best cover corners in the division. Mike Adana is extremely smart. Josh Levine is a really good safety in those lower divisions. I'm not surprised by their defense. Simon Sabatino is a really good rusher. I mean, I'm not surprised by their defense. I'm just more shocked that they were able to score 5 touchdowns and win a game, but when Peasy threw 4 interceptions also.
It's remarkable.
And I wonder what Vegas is a little upset, maybe you're missing the Star War affected you a bit, yeah.
Maybe. How much will this loss haunt Old Guns because of the division and playoff race that they're in right now? Given how close you are, look at it right now. At 5-2, had they won that game, they would have been tied for first with Sphinx. Mm-hmm. But now they're in 4th.
They're still in the playoffs, though.
So they're still in the playoffs. But mind you, we'll talk more about that as a bigger picture. But again, they could fall if Blackshirts does win and they lose one more game. They could have been
who's the Old Guns playing the next 2 games?
They could have been the eye of the storm and being a 1 or 2 seed as opposed to where we are right now. Look at the schedule.
They're playing V-Nation, team that they're behind them by 1 game. Yeah, they're playing the Jays, who I think they're tied with, and they're playing the Cougars, who haven't lost the game yet. Old Guns can beat the Cougars. Old Guns match up well against a lot of those types of teams. They can beat the Cougars. They can beat V-Nation. They can beat the Jays. I'm not worried about the Old Guns. I'm really not worried about them at all.
Let's go into wild card bubble teams here. Predicting teams that are barely in or on the outside looking in right now. We'll go to the overall standings for Division 5 as we speak. 12 teams make it. You have 4 division winners. We'll go bottom to top here, and we'll say the cutoff now, and essentially I think is where Rednecks, even Gaga Desespas at 16 could be in there at 4 points.
Yeah.
So we'll make that the cutoff at 16. So
how's Killuminati still in the playoffs?
We'll figure that out afterwards.
Still in the playoff hunt? No, they're not anyway.
Okay.
Well, I mean, they are, but
mathematically
they are. Yeah.
You know what it is? It's because there's so many teams at 8 points. If Killuminati wins their 3 games that are left, they can actually jump and get into a tiebreak with a lot of those teams.
Yeah, it's true.
You can follow us on Twitter, Eagle FPF, Terry FPF, and
Terry Tam
FPF, and Mocon 19. Okay, so we'll go 16 and up here. Out of those 4 teams, Junkyard Dogs, Top Citizens, or whatever the hell, Rednecks, and Gaga Desespas, out of those 4. Do we see one of these teams jumping into the playoff picture?
I think Junkyard Dogs have the most talent to be able to get into the playoffs. The only thing is I don't see them beating any of the teams in the playoffs right now to make it in. The only thing is right now the worst team in the playoffs, KGP Light, that really surprised me the 2 games in a row that they've won. It's really helped them a lot. Black Shirts sent me a tweet the other day, hey, you're not talking about the Black Shirts. They lost 2 games in a row. That's what happens when you talk. And Junkyard Dog, I think Junkyard Dogs have the best chance. They have an easy schedule coming up. Just without James Floriani, I don't know if they'll be able to do it. It's all on Jason Ross.
And their division record is also 3-0.
Top season, we can't laugh at them either. I mean, they're very talented.
We can't laugh at them, though. They're talented, but they haven't done anything. They've been running their mouth off this week. Oh, guys, watch out. And they lose to the Rednecks when the quarterback threw 5 INTs.
Andel and Jordan and all those guys. I mean, they got to step up their game. They're very talented. They're talented enough to be able to run the table. I just don't know if they'll be able to do it. It's tough. I mean, it's tough. Gary Despas, I don't see it happening. Alex David, as good as he is. Rednecks. Rednecks are great. They're fun to watch. Rednecks are very fun to watch, but they don't have the it factor to get into the playoffs.
I think the 3-point gap is tough. That's a game and a half of points you have to make up.
I'm surprised that Mad Bears only have 3 points. That's something that we had spoke about at the beginning of the year. Mad Bears are one of the teams that maybe they can sneak into the playoffs. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. At 3 points, 5 points behind any team in the playoffs.
Looking at the current playoff teams, Black Shirts, the U, TD Beers, KGP Light, and Sticky Hands all have 8 points. That's going to change, no question about that. Teams are going to move in, move out over here. You have the refs at 9 points, All Guns and Jays at 10 points here. I think Jays and All Guns, I'm not going to give them the 5 and 6 spots just yet, but they are the inside. They have the inside track to do so. But looking at the rest of that bottom half of the playoff scenario, we're going to see teams move up and down here. Do you see any of these teams moving up or having an ultimate collapse out of the playoff picture?
Out of the playoff picture, I don't know.
KHB Light, I think you mentioned them before. I think
KHB Light's the weakest team in this playoffs. But that's assuming that Junkyard Dogs are going to win out and beat Maximum Carnage and I think TDs and Beer, which would affect the playoff race at this point because Maximum Carnage they're in first place at 8 points.
Right.
So that can be a 7 spot swing right there.
Sure.
You know what I mean? The Junkyard Dogs can win that game, get into first place from outside of the playoffs, get into the fourth place, and be in the playoffs. I don't know. The only team I see dropping is KGP Light. Inconsistency at quarterback.
The top 4, Golden Flashes, Sphinx, and Cougars 1, 2, and 3 with 12 points. Max Carnage, with 8 points, albeit though their division is very close, and they can see a wholesale change in that regard. I think Cougars are going to probably be the 3 seed out of those teams because you're going to ties and all that. But do you see anyone else from the top 4 maybe falling off?
It'd be Maximum Carnage. I don't see them having it. Quarterback, no, I think it's Gianfranco, right?
Yes,
Gianfranco not using.
And for the record, by the way, because there's only 3 subdivisions, right? There's 4 teams, so it's the top 3 winners plus the next best. The Cougars actually have surpassed Maximum Carnage.
Yeah, exactly. Because because it's not the top. It's not the top 3 spots like Eagle was saying. I don't know if you heard him.
Yeah,
it's not top 3 spots.
It's the winners plus next.
Winners plus next, exactly. So the top 3 division winners automatically in the top 4, and then like you said,
like the NBA playoffs, how they have it structured. Okay, again,
so I'm saying Maximum Carnage will drop off, and I'm going. I like the Cougars to stay where they are. Maybe get on top. Golden Flash is surprising me, sending me tweets telling me that hey, we're winning games. I told you guys all you have to do is win games, and they do. Even though Dawson hasn't been the best quarterback of the getting it done, getting the wins that they need.
Conference B, Road Warriors, Butterfingers both eliminated as they start their golf season.
I saw Darnell Danglade actually at he was doorman at Joe Verse.
Oh.
I told him, Darnell, man, Darnell. There you go. We're all going to go. Hey, Darnell.
Hey, there was Daryl, right?
It was an FPF party, man. There was Sean Haney. There was Jason Koklakis. There was myself. There was Richard Shefteshi. There was, there's a guy named LP from Les Badets that knew who I was.
Right.
There's a few guys, man. Oh, and Crow.
James Crow. As we're doing selfies live on air. Okay. Okay, well, I'm gonna put Tyrants in that. There's no selfies here. I am busy working right now.
Mo's not selfie ready. His hair's not ready.
No, it's not ready. Tomorrow we can do the selfie. I'm getting a haircut tomorrow. Okay, Tyrants. I think are gonna be out. St. Luke's Pack at 4 points each. I think are not gonna make it. X-Men, Jaggerbomb, probably 5 points each. I think we'll have the cutoff over there. X-Men and beyond. So we're looking at Keyport Lock, Fans of Cougars, Jaggerbomb, and X-Men. 6 points, 6 points, 5 points, 5 points. Those 4, who moves up?
I think Hot Boys Hotline do not have what it takes to stay in the playoffs at 7 points equal. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't think so. Look at our schedule.
No, Hot Boys Hotline look pretty good, my friend. They got a big win. Big win last week over Butterfingers.
Butterfingers, big win. I mean, not that good of a team that just got eliminated.
They'll be the Road Warriors.
Against Road Warriors, another team was eliminated. Gators, loss. Green Lantern Corps, loss.
Okay, so we're at 9 points.
So you're at 9 points. It could be enough. But Keyport Lock, all they have to do is win 2 games and they're in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
And Keyport Lock has the talent to do it. Jeff Rosenblatt has to step up this game.
All right, looking at the teams inside out, we look at the Tomahawk Nightmare, Speed Demons, Hot Boys Hotlines, 8 points, 7 points, 7 points. Those 3 teams, you see anyone falling off? Talk about Tomahawk Nightmare. They're 8 points here. I'm not saying they're going to fall off here.
No, I don't think Tomahawk Nightmare. I think they're too experienced. They're too good. JF Marquis played in this league for a long time in high divisions to know what needs to be done to stay in the playoffs. I think Hot Boys Hotline are going to be falling off. That 1 win, they need to get 2 wins. Well, obviously, if you can sneak out three points for Hot Boys Hotline, they'll be in the playoffs. But if that means they need to get a tie and a win, and I don't see it happening, they can beat GLC. GLC is like, I don't even know what the hell they're doing, man. I have no idea what.
No one knows what they're doing.
They're up, down. They lose to garbage teams. They beat good teams. I mean, it doesn't make sense. So if they lose to garbage teams, then they'll probably lose the Hot Boys Hotline.
Looking at quickly here, LBF, Goats, DG Goons, Y.N.W.A, 12 points, 10 points, 10 points, 9 points. I think they're okay. I think we see
I think so too.
In the middle pack here.
Y.N.W.A and GLC, they're fighting at that. They're like at third spot in their subdivision.
Yeah,
it's tough. I mean, it's tough for those two guys to stay in. Y.N.W.A, they have a tough schedule coming up, but I think they can do it. I think they have enough experience with Richie Humes, Matt Pachon, Alex Postalakis, and Alex Camas to win.
Top 4, Dope Boys very hot right now. They've won 4 or 5 in a row, I believe.
Sneaky. They're sneaky good, Dope Boys.
Good, exactly. Is that top 4 essentially set in stone?
Yeah, I think so. I think that maybe GGWP will advance. They're in the same subdivision as Gryphons, who are first place by 1 point. They have that one tie that's kind of hurting them right now. I think that GGWP will run the table and be able to finish first in the conference and get a bye the first week.
All right, coming up next, we'll talk about the mess that we have in the conferences as we speak on You'll Never Walk Alone, and then we'll come back with our CBG of the week, 5 Alive games, and preview what is on the Uncle Mike Show, which I think is a repeat from October's show. Stay tuned. Calling the Audible has been brought to you by the English Montreal School Board's DEAL program. Distance education for all learners will allow you to obtain your high school diploma or prerequisites for CEGEP or vocational studies from the comfort of your own home. It's never too late to go back to school. Learn anywhere at your own pace and get your diploma. Call 514-788-5937 for information or visit www.distanted.ca for more details.
Easy on the count.
Twiddle.
Follow us on Twitter on You'll Never Walk Alone, at Terry Tam FPF, Eagle FPF, Mocon19 for those who are on Twitter. Welcome back to the lovely Central, Eastern, Northern, Coast to Coast.
The UncleMikeShow.com.
UncleMikeShow.com, Coast to Coast Studios. Let's dive right back into it. Conference A mess. East Division, 3 teams have 5 wins. Central Division, 4 teams have 4 wins. West, 2 teams have 4 wins. Let's go first with the East Division here, quickly, Terry.
Yeah.
East, there's 3 teams that have 5 wins. How much of a mess is this? It just seems like we're looking at this as being one of the closest finishes that we ever seen in Div 5.
This is a bigger mess than my luggage when I go to Cuba for a week. It is nasty.
Which is Cougars, Jays, Old Guns.
Cougars, Jays, Old Guns at 5 wins. Then you have Sphinx at 6 wins. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, Old Guns, those are a team, like I mentioned before, that they should be. I'm not worried about them. They're going to get 2 more wins. If not, they're going to finish at 7-3. Worst case scenario. Cougars, I mean, I see Cougars, if they can't go undefeated, right? So it's either they lose. Not that they can't, but I don't see them going undefeated. I don't know, man. For me, I see that Cougars staying where they are, Jays falling off, and the Old Guns getting on top of Jays.
Yeah, that's going to be a weird division. I mean, essentially, Blacksters might get in with, say, 6 or 7 wins and be the 5 seed. That's crazy how it is. Central Division, 4 teams have 4 wins. In your mind, do you think right now we have Max Carnage at 4 wins, Sticky Hands, the U, TD Beers at 4 wins? You think any of those teams don't make playoffs?
Yeah, I think Maximum Carnage won't make the playoffs.
Wow, and they're holding the division spot right now in the top 4.
But they're holding the division spot tied.
Flawed, a flawed team
because of the heads up matchups they have, or is it because of the points against Eagle?
It is because
thanks to the win over Venom.
It's because of the points against right now.
Because of the points against, they're 1 point away. They're literally at 174 points against, and Sticky Hands are 175, and they're 1 point away from the playoffs. 1 point against away from the playoffs. That's 1 extra point that they're to make them outside of the playoffs. I have no confidence in Maximum Carnage because I have no confidence in Gianfranco Ronaldo.
Neither do I. I think Ronaldo is. I think Gianfranco Ronaldo is he's that frenetic quarterback. He's pulling a Romo.
Yeah. What? Not a Robo.
No,
last
Eli
year.
Manning.
It's pulling an Eli.
He can look great or he can look
exactly
awful.
The U is a team. Honestly, I love this team, man.
Shake and bake, man.
Shake and bake, Lattimore. That guy, man, was my favorite. It's one of my favorites.
Well, look, I think there is one team, and Max Carnage could be that team looking on the outside when it's all said and done. Mm-hmm. The West, 2 teams at 4 wins, and that is the Refs and KGP Light at 4 wins apiece.
KGP Light are shockingly at 4 wins.
Yes. Quarterback after quarterback change here. I think Golden Flashes has that division in hand, but those 2 teams, hey, when you look at these 2 teams here, I think one's going to really have a dramatic fall, and that could be a KGP Light.
I think it's KGP Light. The refs are you can tell they're all former tackle players, understand the game very well. They don't allow many points. It's 1 point more than what KGP Light is allowed. But their point differential is 38. KGP Light's point differential is minus 21. So they're able to score touchdowns, and that's what's important in this league. You can allow as many touchdowns as you want. If you're able to score 4 touchdowns a game, you're good, man. You're good. The refs have that capability.
Sure. Are we going to see a 6-win team on the outside looking in when it's all said and done for this conference?
Yeah, I think so. I think that maybe the Jays are going to be that team.
They should have a crossover now for divisions and conferences,
yeah.
But you look at it right now. I mean, look, Eagle giving us the look, the Eagle look. You ever see the Eagle look?
About what Eagle says.
He just gives us the look. 6 wins though. You said Jays could be on the outside looking in.
That's assuming that Junkyard Dogs win out. If Junkyard Dogs win out, the Maximum Carnage fall off, and then everything gets bumped down. Jays can easily go 0-3 the rest of the way.
In your mind, is this the best conference parity with the other conference? Conference A with Conference B?
Yeah, I say it's parity because they're all equally as mediocre as the other one.
The other conference, Conference B West outlook. Could we include the GOATs into the trio of Griffins, Good Game Well Played, and LVF?
No, absolutely not. LVF.
Those 3 teams are the best in Conference B West.
But GOATs have a very easy schedule. The very easy schedule, and I've seen them lose to very good teams. They have the most points against in that. Well, out of all the teams in the playoffs right now, I think they have the most points against.
We look at the GOATs though; they're 5-3. They're essentially with where they're tailored right now as we speak. They're in the 6th spot with 10 points here. Mm-hmm. They win out. They could theoretically be.
But look, out of all the teams in the playoffs, they have the most points against. I know I say you have to score to win, and that's what they're doing. But if you play against a really good team in the playoffs, you're going to play against. They've actually fought. And right now, the way it's set up, they will be playing against Speed Demons. Speed Demons have the best defense.
Yeah.
The best defense.
Yeah.
If not the Gators, it's them. So they're going to be able to shut them out, and the GOATs will not be able to stop them. And that's the reality. You can't stop a team, you're not going to win.
Griffiths have the tough schedule, by the way. If you look at their schedule before the Geritron 3000, their
Rifins.
They
had a big win last week. Big win.
But they play Venom, which is going to be a W for them. But the last 2 games, Good Game Well Played, and LVF is going to be very tough.
Man, I'm going to be at those games. I'm going to watch those games for sure.
You buy your tickets?
March 14th. It's anniversary with the wife, man.
The roommate.
The roommates. I might not be able to be there.
Maybe
we'll do like an early.
That's some broadside. I can go. I can do
it. Watch that. I'll probably catch the
That's solid. Honey, I got a great spot in the South Shore we can go to. It's got wall-to-wall windows.
You get pizza. You get some beer.
Yeah, beer with that TVs. We got 2 skating rinks we can go on afterwards for romantic skates. But Griffins right now, with where they're at, undefeated, I think they do get a loss at some point, especially in the last 2 games of the year. They'll be 8-0.
I think it's against GGWP.
And that could cost them.
Good game well played. SBB quarterback of the year.
But it could cost them, though.
Yeah.
It could cost them.
It could cost them the bye. They're still going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, they're going to the playoffs. It's that it could cost them a higher seed.
Well, actually, I don't know, because right now they're leading. They're in 14 points. GGWP's in their same subdivision. They're at 13 points. So if they go up, they would still stay in the top 4, most likely.
All right, Stevie G of the week. Mike's not paying attention.
Stevie G of the week. It isn't anybody specific this week. Stevie G of the week hasn't been anybody playing well last week. Stevie G of the week for me this week is who's going to step up. Okay,
well, that's heading, right? Which player needs to step up?
Who's going to get the ball at the top of the half against Olympiacos at 2-1, Champions League 2004, and drill it into the back of the net to advance to the next round? Who's going to do that?
It's not Shaquille Finn, that's for sure.
It's not Shaquille Finn.
No.
Steven Gerrard will do that.
Steven G.
No, but what I'm saying is that you need a guy who's going to step up. The guy who needs to step up is anybody on that Keyport Lock team. We overhyped them the entire year. I did anyway.
Well, I never did.
Whatever. Yeah, personal foes with your boys over there. Okay, Jeff Rosenblatt, he needs to step up. He needs to step up his game.
He's throwing a lot of INTs.
He does throw a lot of INTs. Yeah. It's not Division E.
Yes. Finally, 5 Alive games. Let's dive into it. Let's go with the first game. Sphinx, Jager Bombs. Jager Bombs, 3.5-point favorites. Jager Bombs fighting for the playoff lives. Who do you have and why?
I'm going Sphinx. Sphinx experience. Just based off experience.
I know the records are in favor of Sphinx, but Jager Bomb came off an impressive win against.
They did. I just don't see them. I just don't see it coming up. Sphinx are 6-1 for a reason.
You Sticky Hands. Sticky Hands 4.5-point favorites. Key divisional game between the U and Sticky Hands.
I'm going Sticky Hands with the win, but the U to cover the spread. It'll be a tight game. Sticky Hands, Frank Etier.
Rednecks Golden Flashes 8.5 points for the Flashes.
I'll go Golden Flashes.
Cover the spread.
Cover the spread on that one. It's the first time I'll give you guys points up there. Yannick Dustin.
That's how we roll.
Alex Gerte.
Weedham Boys, Max Carnage, 2.5 points for Weedham Boys.
I'm going to go Weedham Boys because I'm not a fan of Maximum Carnage. Weedham Boys, they're those hustle teams. They can. It's one of those hustle kind of teams. They can win games. As long as Alex Paslakis doesn't drop balls in the end zone like we saw in 2 touchdowns like we saw in the game of the week this week for Division 3.
Oof, calling them out. Division 2. And your boys, Keyport Lock against St. Luke's.
Keyport Lock.
5.5 points.
5.5 points. I'd give it a 10 points, and they're going to toss it.
St. Luke's had a tough game last night. Very tough game. Finally, well, before we sign off here, just to let you know, Uncle Mike show coming up next. It's a repeat of the October show when he had Shaquille Finn.
Live repeat.
It's
the first ever live repeat. With Shaq Finn, ever. Division 4 Brotherhood. Exactly. And Division E, that's big.
I don't know, we used to get that on TFN radio.
Must be Matthew Ross or something. What did you learn on today's episode?
I learned on this episode that selfies can be done live on air.
I learned that Mike and Shaq have egos taking selfies during the broadcast.
You know what I learned this week, though? I learned this week that if you have a grievance with the league, send it to the president. Don't send it to put it on Facebook and wait for a reaction. Send it to the president, which is Rob Campana. Even send it to one of the head referees, whatever the case may be, and just deal with it internally if you have an issue with the league.
I learned, Eagle learned, we need to stick to the schedule. Sorry to Uncle Mike.
And Shaquille.
You don't recognize that name. Okay, without further ado, don't forget, we'll be back here next week for Week 9 recap. Week 10 not too far away from us. Final 3 weeks of the year, the home stretch here as we gear up for the road show April 18th. Can't wait for that. Eagle FPF, Terry Tam FPF, Mocha 19. Come up next on the Uncle Mike Show. Coming up next, it is the Uncle Mike Show with Shaquille Finn. Why? I have no reason. Desperate for guests, maybe.
1-0 professional boxer Shaquille Finn coming up with his second fight against me, March 27th at the Olympia. I'm gonna whip his ass.
He's got more playoff wins than the Cowboys in the last 17 years. Whoa! Good morning, South Korea.